until someone else introduces a folding device, this is the king. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So I quickly realized how much I genuinely like using the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. It does help that I really enjoyed the Z Fold 3 a lot. I use the Z Fold 3 for a lot of stuff. And this device right here is my Z Fold 4. Now, the reason some people might feel some type of way about the Z Fold 4 is because, you know, the improvements over the 3 are minimal. So you're not getting a different look at all. You're getting the same folding design, but you're getting a shorter, wider display and footprint for the device itself. You're getting a wider display on the front. You're getting a smaller hinge. Like, these are improvements that these companies do to get you to keep buying. So they have a much flatter, smaller hinge. But ironically enough, I've looked at several videos, and you can see the pass through and the gap right there. It seems like the Fold 3 had a slimmer gap, and I don't know what it is. Again, I sold my Fold 3 a while back. So I think that the Fold 4, if you just look at it for what it is, we don't always have to compare it to the Fold 3 because this is that slight jump up that companies do. But to me, it is warranted. So especially if you're moving along if you wanted a wider display on the front, you know, if you wanted a little bit shorter, stubbier device, you're kind of getting it here. And I think that, you know, the overall design of this device, it doesn't have to change much, but I think they should take some design elements from Xiaomi and all these other companies where they're actually flattening out the display with no gap in the middle. That would actually be really sweet, because then they could make a wider front display, in a good looking wider front display. So hardware wise, I'm actually pretty happy with this hardware. It doesn't bother me at all. I embrace the new slightly shorter, slightly wider display. I think it's really nice. So one thing I wanted to show you here is the dock. Now, the dock on here is absolutely great, folks. This is something that I didn't know if it would impress me at all, because again, the design of the device, I knew I would like it because I like the Fold 3, but the dock has been just phenomenal. I genuinely like this dock. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this. Being able to navigate down here quickly through the applications that you want to use is clutch. It's real, like the young people say, it's clutch. It's really nice, man. I genuinely love it. So one thing, if you don't use a Chromebook, if you don't use Chrome OS, this is reminiscent of Chrome OS, because Chrome OS got the update to what is it, 12 or 14 right now? I forgot which one we're on for laptops. And they moved the dock away. There's no longer a swipe up to get into your applications on the Chrome OS for a laptop. It's a button on the side like this. And this is what they've done here. And I genuinely love this. I think it's one of the best things that you could have possibly done, navigating your system like this. I'm really feeling this. So I got this in the mail too. When you are wanting to navigate and do some multitasking, you can hold it and put it here or put it here, and then it'll split. And then if you want to get back in and go something else, you can literally grab different things and put them where you want to put them. So this is really cool to be able to navigate your system like this. It isn't anything new. It's just that this is what Samsung has done, and I think it's really sweet. And then remember, you have your multitasking right here, where you can go back into that trio of devices or applications that you had. So the multitasking on here is always going to be on point. I genuinely really like it, and I think it's sweet that Samsung is focusing on a tablet or almost mild laptop experience on this device. I actually opened this up. I was somewhere, I forgot where I was, and I opened it up and they said, "What the heck is that?" And I was like, "Whoa, that's the expression that I would love to see, people get." Then you get to talk about you really enjoying it. So the features and options on here are endless, folks. Remember, you still have your sidebar. Some people forget about this sidebar, but it is there. You can adjust that to whatever you want. You now can use the S Pen. I have the S Pen. You can navigate your system with the S Pen, do writing. You can do everything on this center screen. I think that the Fold Edition S Pen is probably one of the best S Pens. Now, there are some limitations to that S Pen, like using it on the front screen, but I have a different stylus that I can use on the front screen. And so I take advantage of the front screen by using a stylus, but I don't really want to do that. Like when people ask, you can't use the pen on the front screen, I'm like, who would really want to use the pen on the front screen? Like, what are you really going to do with the pen on the front screen on that little display? I think personally that's just a way for people to take a shot and feel like they're picking out a flaw. That's what I think. So the screen on this thing is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, you want to have your refresh rate set at the highest one that you can have it at. If you're going to pay this premium price, you want to set it all the way up to 120 hertz. Just do it. You should do it. I mean, the battery on here is extremely efficient with this processor, so they've done a good job on that. Now, the screen is beautiful. I actually have been shooting B-roll with this device, man. As you can see here, this is the B-roll from my iPhone video. I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max is my other daily driver. It's my other daily driver. And I shot the B-roll. I shot this B-roll and all the B-roll with this device. I shot it with this device, and it is super clear. I mean, it is so impressive, these cameras. Now, I'm probably the only one that I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even know that this phone could shoot 8K. I was doing something, and I was in here, and I said, oh, snap. I clicked up here for something. I said, oh, man, I can do 8K. And that's simply just a bragging right, because nobody uses 8K. Nobody really watches stuff in 8K. Most of us don't even me, the baller that I am, I don't even have an 8K TV. What's the point? It's so limited right now. Some people are just getting to 4K. Yeah, let's just be honest. 8K is a flex. And it's 24 frames per second anyway, so I'd rather do 30 frames per second. But yeah, that's just me. But it can do 8K. And it also has all of the pro features. The pro video is just beast mode. You got your gain control over here. You've got wide zoom. You've got everything, your focus points. You can do manual controls on here. So that is something that I think you should take advantage of, because when I use this device, sometimes I'm really shooting in pro mode, or my favorite is portrait video. Now you do have director's view on here too. These are all things for creators, I say. Take advantage of these things, folks. They are there for you to take advantage of. The footage that you're going to get from this device is absolutely stunning. It's stunning. The hands down, it's just going to be some great footage. Now, I've taken some other footage. I'm working on the camera review, so these are some of the things I'm taking here. But the cameras on this thing they're ridiculous. They're extremely good, and I don't think you'll have any complaints when comparing these cameras to others. Now, you're going to say, Jay, well, that front camera is garbage. They can do better. Okay, that's your opinion. I say that the previous generation, the one that was on the 3, appeared to be a little bit better. With this front camera, I have to be in some really bright lighting for it to really impress me. The camera isn't that good on that portion. How do you close your device? I think you're supposed to be closed. I close it like this in the bottom hinge. I see some people pushing the center. I can't do that. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to tear the screen up. But speaking of tearing the screen up, before we move on to the next segment here, durability. I put up a post about these two phones, and I never really tell people directly the context because I don't want to lead you in your answer. But I always say which one you got. And I watch and observe how people just throw these random things out there and think they're talking about what I'm talking about. And a lot of times they're way off. But I threw this up, and I've also put up a photo of some of my phones laid on the desk and said, which one you got? But durability, it's funny that people could say that this phone is not durable. I worry about the Fold 4 being durable. And, I'm like, why are you worried about the Fold 4 being durable? It's a phone like any other phone. Keep it closed and your inner screen is protected. I've dropped my Fold 3 so many times and it has never gotten damaged, folks. I don't have a damaged Fold 3. I kept that phone for almost a year, I think it was. And I dropped it multiple times. Okay, it got some nicks and scratches, but it survived. And so for people thinking that this phone can't last for 2 years, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's just always those people who don't have it, or you get those random people who they don't tell you, but they're extremely rough on their phones. Like they're accident prone and they don't wear cases and they say, oh, the phone won't last. Those are the people. But the people who actually use the device for a year, there's people that have the Z Fold 2, and I bet they can report to you that it's still going good. No problems whatsoever. Because I put up a poll like who you got for the next 2 years or something like that. People instantly gravitate towards the iPhone, but I think it's a mixed playing field. I think that poll, let me find that poll real quick. Let me find that poll. And I think it might be mixed. Let's see here. Oh, it's 50-50 with over 1,000 votes. Look at that. So this is good. This is good. It is 50-50 with over 1,000 votes. And obviously I can't vote on my own poll. So this is a balanced play. And some of these people, let's be honest here. Some of these people are just voting for their fan favorite. They're not voting for which one they actually think might last for 2 years. Some people will bring up software and give it directly to Apple. They'll say, nah, Apple got that. And I agree with you. Apple does support their phones for a very long time. Yeah. But I think that's a decent, I would think that it would just stay mixed like that. But, it is what it is. Everybody's going to have their own version of what they think something is going to be good at. So now one place I want to talk about on here is battery life. This battery life, now some people go on screen on time. I go on standby time. That is my thing. I need my phone to be there for me when I need it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a phone that can't last off the charger for at least a day. You know what I mean? And some people are really big on screen on time saying, you're not using the phone. Well, sure I am. You got to understand, folks, usage depends on the user. I do a lot of phone calls and a lot of camera footage. And I think those are two. Sometimes I'll do like some social media, but I watch a lot of YouTube on this device. But so on this charge, a full charge lasts 2 days and 2 hours. And that's what it is. So this one right here on this charge, I have just under 2.5 hours of screen on time, or just about 2.5 hours of screen on time, and I got almost 2 days. I'm gonna get 2 days. Now, Jay, you're not using the phone. Yes, I am. I'm just not using it how you want me to use it. On my other battery cycle, I showed you on the first go around. I got some screenshots in here. I think I took a couple screenshots. So the first day that I got this phone, this was the results. I still made it 24 hours basically. Look, 23 and 54 with 9 minutes left. I could go 24 hours on this and I got, you guys want to see the screen on time? Here you go. I don't care about that. I care about, is it going to last me? That's what I care about. And I start to take screenshots. This is the one that I posted online. Everybody's like, oh, that's trash battery because you got 47% left and you only got 3 hours of screen on time, or 3.5 hours screen on time. I mean, you guys are in a fantasy world. I actually use my phone for phone calls, which is rare these days. Apparently, people don't make phone calls. But I feel like the battery life on this thing is great, and I think they've proven themselves that they're gonna give me, because when I don't know if you guys know it, but when a company is talking about screen on time or battery life, they're not going by screen on time. They have screen on time in phones now. Even Apple adapted to this nonsense about screen on time because creators out there, some creators are complaining, I only got 2 hours screen on time. I only got 2 hours of screen on time, and I got 8 hours of use. That's them. Just like a classic example is the Surface Duo 2. That is one of the biggest flops I have ever seen. The Surface Duo 1 is an amazing device, and simply put, it still is. And just, yeah, the Surface Duo 1 is the device to get of the two. Microsoft dropped the ball on that one. That is a phenomenal folding device. It has got better hardware than this device. Let's just keep reiterating how I feel about it. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. So, overall as a package, you've got great software, you got good battery life. Now, where's the fail at? I think we know what it is. The price. This is a very expensive device. It is a very expensive device, and the only way some people can get this is to do a trade-in and then finance the balance, or just finance the balance, period. That is the reality of our world right now, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is, and I accept that. I embrace it. Get it how you're going to get it. Get in where you fit in. But for people like me, I'm not financing a phone, and I'm just going to buy it. And so that's where the price is a fail, especially for people who pay full cost. That is a huge fail. I want phones like the Z Flip 4 price to be on phones like this. And before you tell me it's never going to happen, it is going to happen. We just got to wait our turn. So what's on my device videos, I don't really do them anymore, but I only keep applications on my device that I'm actually going to use. So I'm boring when it comes to that. I used to do those a lot, but I don't do them anymore. But I just got stuff on here that I'm going to use. I got stuff on here I'm going to use. So folks, this is the Z Fold 4, and this is me 3 days later with it, and I'm absolutely loving it. It is my daily driver, along with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. These are my two dailies. And I also have my Pixel in my third SIM. But I'm telling you, these are two phenomenal pieces of hardware. Both of them are great. Z Fold 4, though, is in a class of its own. And until Apple does a folding device, or not just Apple, and I'm speaking to the US market. Folks, you're talking to, I'm not going to say I'm the import king, because I'm not. But how did my channel start again? Well, what was the main premise of my channel at one point for several years? Imported devices. Imported devices, and I'm sure I introduced you to a lot of imported devices that you had no idea existed. So I rock with the imports, but I don't live there. And right now, those imports cost just as much as this, and sometimes more, but they probably are better devices. Most of the imports that I get in are better than the stuff in the US. I've always said that. So until someone in the US, I'll say, which is pretty much Apple, Motorola, Google, until someone else introduces a folding device, this is the king.